Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey, good morning. I almost was late. I think I was a little late because I was sitting here reading over my notes. Hey, Vicky. And I was thinking about, I know Chuck gonna have something to say about my hair today. Because every day after I talk to y'all, Chuck wanna get on the phone and call me and tell me about his thoughts about my hair. And Chuck, this is how my hair is today, and it's okay. Vicky. I gotta tell y'all what I'm gonna talk about today. Hey Piff, you're gonna enjoy what I'm gonna talk about today, okay? Because, and it got me in my feels too right now, what I wanna talk about today. Chuck, I was just talking about you. But y'all listen, this was on my bike ride and it's like, oh, it's all over my body. This is what I came to today. And I've been writing, y'all know I've been working on this book, right? And in the book, I'm trying to cover this kind of discussion on our emotions. And y'all know how I've been having us take these journeys to go see what our, okay, Chuck, we'll be able to do some meditation, okay? So I've been having us go visit with our grandparents and our ancestors. And specifically, yeah, you feeling heavy today, Piff? Okay, y'all, I'm gonna stay focused. Y'all know I just love y'all so much. Okay. So, Piff, this will be good, and we might go over 7 minutes, but here, y'all listen to me. I've been having us to go visit with our ancestors, especially our grandparents and our grandmama and our grandpapa, and those people who raised us, those people who modeled to us how we deal with our emotions, how we visit with our emotions, and how we display and interact with our emotions. And so here are some things that have been coming into my mind, and I've been writing them down. Y'all know what's funny. You'll appreciate this, Piff. I always get all these ideas, like either when I'm riding my bike or right when I wake up in the morning or before I go to bed at night. And I have a notebook that I always keep next to the bed, and I'll just like turn over and like get my notebook out and start writing. And Rob always be like, what you doing over there writing your lyrics? That's what he called every time, because I just be like, I got so much stuff in my head, I can't stop thinking about it. I'll be like, I got to get it on paper. So I've been writing lyrics this morning. That's what he always say. He'd be like, what you doing, writing your lyrics? So let me share some of my lyrics with y'all, okay? So I was thinking about just the neuroscience of emotion and how I recognize that because I'm in the yoga world, and a lot of people use yoga to not feel emotions. But y'all hear me say this all the time, right? Y'all hear me say that you need to practice, as humans, you need to practice a full range of emotions. And y'all know what I want to do? And I've done this in the past, and I want to discontinue it. I want to stop saying negative and positive emotions. Like, I want to remove that language altogether. And why do I want to do that? Because y'all know, usually if we put an evaluation or some type of evaluative word on something, then automatically we create a narrative with it. So for example, when we say something like a negative emotion, then we're going to put negative cognitive thoughts with that, right? So what if we just stop saying negative and positive when we talk about our emotions? Y'all know why? Because all of our emotions are good for us. Our emotions inform us. Just like how I tell y'all the brain is our bodyguard, our emotions are also a gift to tell us what to do next and to inform us on how to act, right? So our emotions are essentially the basis, the foundation of our thoughts. So I know y'all know this stuff already, but this is just stuff that I've been thinking about. So just moving away from talking about a negative emotion, but also saying that emotion is a gift to me. You know how I told y'all before about like different pains in our bodies, that those are little love notes that are informing us to maybe change some behavior, do something different. And that there's always this counterpart of an emotion with that usually, right? So I'll talk a little bit today about we have these families of emotions, okay, y'all? We have families of emotions, and I'm gonna just talk about a couple of those families. And later on at another time, or maybe when y'all read my book, you can see like in these families, we have different groups within those families, but we ain't gonna cover that today. So the first thing I want us to recognize and accept and love and appreciate is that in order for you to be awake and to be conscious, your emotions need to be present, right? So y'all know that you can be awake but not conscious, and that the emotional self is very much connected to our conscious self and to our enlightenment and to our awareness. So here, how about I just go here? Our emotions are around. They help us to identify what's going on, to like understand the environment and the context. And we attach meaning to data and respond to the world, right, with whatever our emotions are telling us. So for people who teach, or people who say, well, don't get too emotional or just be logical or rational, and that's the only way that you should be thinking, that's faulty and it's actually unhealthy. And y'all, that can take me down a whole nother rabbit hole when I think about that, because in actuality, I think that's the problem with a lot of people when they detach this emotion and feeling to things, and then it's almost like they can't even understand or see what somebody's going to because they want to be so logical and heady, right? And they don't feel. So y'all, right now, I'm inviting y'all to come back to y'all feelings. That's why I've been having you visit your ancestors, and then to see how you were taught to feel or not to feel. And because it's important that you feel, because our emotions inform us. So let's talk about these emotional families. One thing we need to understand is that emotions don't create the problem that come to you. They help you deal with the problems that come to you, right? So they don't create problems that come to you. They help you deal with problems that come to you. And they actually come to help you, to partner with you, right? And each emotion brings a specific kind of support that we need, y'all. Y'all know that? And one thing that I've always said, especially with clients, when we name it, we can tame it, right? So a lot of times we have this emotional illiteracy, and that has to do with growing up, how some people just would cut off those emotions because they just felt like they didn't need to feel them, and they just needed to act and avoid feeling in this kind of false idea of like, I'm keeping myself safe. All right, y'all, I just keep going on and on, but let me get specific. Y'all want to talk about specific emotions and how they come to partner with you? That's what I'll do right now, because we already at 8 minutes. Let's do this. I was saying that when you can name them, you can tame them. And I'm not saying tame like they're wild and out of control, but it's almost like when you name something, you could tame it in the sense of like, it's like, oh, I see you. Like sometimes I'll say, like, when you can name it, it's like somebody putting their hand on your shoulder and just saying, you know, I see you, I'm with you. I know I do that a lot of times, like with my friends and with my family. It's kind of like the moment somebody says, I see you, like I understand, or I'm here with you, it's almost like this amazing feeling comes down over you, like, whew, it's okay. Like, it's okay. So I was even thinking about that. I had a conversation with a friend, a really close girlfriend who's going through a breakup, and she was just talking to me about her feelings right now. And you know what? I just wanted to listen, and I wanted her to practice and feel all of those emotions that she was feeling. She was feeling anger. She was feeling sadness. She was feeling even some joy because of how she felt about that person. And so I just said, like, I see you, like, I feel you, and I'm here with you. Just to say, like, go ahead, feel all those emotions. I really want everybody to feel what they're feeling. You feeling angry? All right, go feel angry, because there's a reason. Anger has came to partner with you. I was even thinking about a client yesterday, y'all. He started, I was talking to him, and we were talking about family of origin and things like that. And he just started to get so angry. And y'all know what we usually do with anger. Like, we want to pull away and stay away from anger. But he had a right to feel angry. And I was sitting there thinking, while he was talking, I was like, you know, letting him know I'm here with you. Like I said, okay, hold on, let me catch my breath and see if you could catch your breath. Because it was like he couldn't even say what he wanted to say, because that anger started to like really get so big that his voice was getting choked. So I said, okay, let's take a breath so that I want you to know I'm here with you. Like, I'm attuning with you. So anger is good too, y'all. We don't have to run away from anger. All right. You're right, Chuck. Streaming tears cleans the soul and thoughts. Right. So y'all, Chuck, that's so right. So y'all, let's just look at some of these emotions, and I'm going to highlight the ones that we usually try to stay away from. Y'all, if y'all know me personally, y'all know that I'm really big on, if I'm feeling my emotions, I'm going to feel those emotions. And usually I tell my daughters, like, every girl gets a day or 2 or 3 or 4, you know, every month we need a few days so we can feel all those emotions that's going on. And we don't need to try to run away from them or not act like they're not real. Y'all, I'm going way over my time, but give me a few more minutes. So anger helps us to set boundaries, right? So anger helps us to protect our position, right? Anger helps us to protect our standpoint, our identity, and our individuality, right? So this is what I wrote. Y'all, I told you I was writing my lyrics. So it's this pursuit to have enough anger to not give up on our position. So we need to have enough anger to basically defend our position and defend our identities, but also not be too angry where we begin to offend the rights of others, right? So as we can see in our society right now, anger is also concerned with justice and injustice, not only for ourselves, but also for others, right? So when we feel anger, when others are stripped of themselves and their sense of self. So when others are stripped of their rights of dignity, right? We get angry. I feel anger when I see any being that is stripped of their justices. I don't know about y'all. And so a lot of people are getting angry because some people have had the opportunity, or I don't even, no, that's the wrong word. Some people have had apathetic lives where they have not taken the time to notice the injustices that are happening to other human beings. Y'all get what I'm saying? So then that creates anger inside of them. But anger is here to inform us, right? So anger is here to serve us and to put that, y'all know when I be talking about that fire, that passion, right? Y'all know when I talk about that. Specifically for me, I get angry about the injustice of BIPOC. Y'all know BIPOC, Black and Indigenous people of this country and people of color. I think about Indigenous people, Latino people, even though that's a whole nother conversation, how Latino people have this practice of horizontal hostility towards Black people, but we'll talk about that another day. But just people of darker skin, and I get angry about the injustices just because of their skin color. I was saying that to Rob yesterday. Oh, let me tell y'all this real quick. So my kids were upset yesterday, and my aunt posted something about one of my baby cousins. So yesterday, Nia calls me, and she's like, Mom, I think my dad just got pulled over. And she was in the car with her granny. I was like, well, oh, Nia, go turn around. Go turn around, sit there. And she's upset, like clearly upset. And I knew she was upset. So her dad got pulled over, and she went back and just parked there. And why do we have to go through that, y'all? Why did I have to tell my baby to go park there to make sure that her dad is safe? And then I said to her, and I was like, and the fact that clearly we're lighter skinned, but I have dark skinned family who I know automatically because their skin is darker that they will be targeted. And it angers me. And it should anger you. It should anger all of us. There it is again, when somebody loses their right? Their dignity, their sense of self, like another being wants to take away their sense of self and their identity. Anyway, y'all see me getting angry all worked up just because that's how I feel about my family and my uncles and my baby cousins who can have this fear because of another human trying to cause them to lose their dignity and self-identity. I got to calm down, y'all. Because I get to going. So fear. So let's talk about fear and how fear comes along to be our friend, y'all. So fear is this beautiful aspect of our intuition, right? It gives us information. It helps us when we need to pay attention to things in our environment, or we need to take an action to avoid some harm or injury, right? So we need to have some level of fear. Like when you out, I used to jump out, do backflips out the swing all the time when I was a little girl. I had no fear. But sometimes we need that fear to inform us to not do some stupid stuff, right? oh, Piff, you said I need to put my hand here, right here. I need to calm down. Because of that anger I was feeling. You right, Piff. Thank you, girl. Let me cool myself down. Because I'm getting worked up. You see how my words start jumbling together? But just thinking about that fear, y'all. We need fear. And we need to learn to work with fear. Like I've had to learn to work with fear. I used to, as a little girl, have this extreme fear. And I talk about this with one of my friends all the time who has a child that kind of has a similar fear. That I had an extreme fear of like what natural weather situations could do to us, right? So like extreme storms and extreme weather. And y'all know what's funny about fear is like it can be good and it can help to inform us, but repetitive fears and repetitive worries and anxieties that don't match like this reliably with actual dangers can sometimes create this feedback loop, and then it becomes unnecessary. So I've had that in my life, y'all. I don't know about y'all, but yeah, I've had those when fixated on extreme weather. All right, I'll talk to y'all about one more because it's 10:15. So sadness is another one that people try to avoid. And sadness is here for us as a gift, y'all. Sadness comes to partner with us, and sadness comes to help us to let go of things that are no longer working. Y'all with me? Oh, Sherry, you said my Vegas nerve. I do need to pay attention, right? Here we go. But listen, so we talked about anger, we talked about fear, and now sadness, and how we try to avoid sadness. So think about the last time you were really sad, right? So y'all think about the last time you were really sad. And I bet if you listen to that sadness, it helped you to let go of something that was no longer serving you, so that you can make room for things that would be serving you, right? A lot of times we think sadness is just about loss. But sadness is about this movement. Hey, Brother Bruce, I'm just on here talking, going way over my 7 minutes. Sadness is also about this rejuvenation that's ready to come, right, y'all? And I want to make sure that we don't confuse sadness with grief. And anybody in here who has ever experienced grief, grief is very different from sadness. So sadness is when, you know, it's time to move on and let something go. Grief is when you don't have a choice in letting something go. You get what I'm saying? And y'all just got chills because I was thinking about my choice of I didn't have a choice in my grandma passing away, right? So then this heavy grief came over me. Or when you're losing something and you have no control over it, that brings like this heavy sense of grief. And grieving is slow. Grieving is languid. Like it just hangs about. It takes time, y'all. So there is a difference between sadness and then there's grief. Hey, Monica, sister girl, I'm just talking about these emotions. But y'all know what I want to tell y'all to do before I go today? Chuck, let's close our eyes and do this, okay? I want you all to close your eyes right now. Whew, close your eyes. And if you need to place a hand on the heart or 2 hands on the heart or 1 hand on the heart and 1 on the cheek to just bring you to you and bring you to a space where you can see your emotions. And the fact that we get to practice a full range of emotions, and that is a part of us being human. Chuck, close your eyes and let's just breathe through that, okay? Because if we sit and feel all of our emotions, they can offer us information for the next action, right? They can offer us information for our next thought, right? So everybody close your eyes and just notice what emotion you might be feeling right now. Perhaps you've stayed away from some sadness. Perhaps you stayed away from some anger. But just take notice to it, right? Allow it to be there. I just know that it happens so much in the yoga world that we think, oh, we just go sit in meditation and everything's supposed to be okay and stay away from those emotions. And I don't believe that, you all. I actually go into my meditation so that I can feel those emotions. So I can sit and I can listen and let those emotions inform me. I want to be informed. So like I've told you all in the past, how usually when there's a problem, sitting right next to it is the solution. So let's invite those emotions back to our bodies. Let's invite those emotions to come, to rise up. So everybody take a breath in and sigh it out. All right, y'all. So that's it. I went over my time today, but I have more to talk to y'all about in regards to this work that I'm doing, this stuff I'm writing, my lyrics, as Rob calls it. So y'all have a good, what's today, Wednesday? Y'all have a good Wednesday, okay? And y'all make sure y'all feel your emotions. Say, when you have emotion come up, ask a question of it. Just say, what are you trying to tell me? What's going on? Y'all, okay? You're doing a good job, Chuck.